Hello, friends, and welcome back to Scholastically Natalie, where I hope you have had a good weekend. And I'd like to apologize for the non-existent second video from last week. I don't know what happened, but apparently nothing in my brain happened. I'll have to scoot you guys onto a video or something for some of the things for D&D that I'm coming up with that I'm kind of excited about, but that's not what we're here to focus on today. Today we are talking about reading and books and poetry, with a book that I finally finished reading after having bought it a while ago, when I saw it had come out, which means it's been a hot minute or two. I've been having a really hard time chugging my way through books recently, so I'm trying to overcome that by reading more poetry because that tends to go better for me. So today is going to be a book talk / book review on Where Hope Comes From, Poems of Resilience, Healing, and Light by Nikita Gill. I've read one of Nikita's poetry collections before. It was Fierce Fairy Tales. I don't remember if I've reviewed it on this channel or not. I should, but I will have to take it out of a box in my parents' basement. So maybe not yet. And plus I have plenty more poetry books to squabble my way through. So, the little quote on the back says, "We may not know each other. We may never meet." Wow, I mistyped it. But if you chance upon this book, I want you to know that no matter what you are going through, no matter how big and deep and painful those feelings are, you are not alone. And this is actually an excerpt from the note at the beginning of this book, and honestly, so much of this book was just so good, so I'd rather read you the note at the beginning so that you can kind of get where exactly this is coming from. It's titled A Note. In the year 2020, a devastating pandemic has wreaked havoc on our lives. No human has been left untouched by the devastation and the chaos that coronavirus has brought, and in this feeling of uncertainty, we are united. I am writing to you from the past. Still in the middle of this pandemic, I was told that I was high risk. I was thousands of miles away from my loved ones, worry for them consuming my every waking moment. I have found myself more alone than I have ever felt before. And then, people we loved started dying and we could not say goodbye. All of this while we were living in one of the most politically polarized and divisive times in living history. Peaceful protests for racial justice, fighting against racism and police brutality, were willfully misconstrued by people to suit their own political agendas, causing further chaos in a heartbreaking time. All sources of hope now shattered, I realized that this was the year I had to rebuild hope from scratch, and to do that, I needed to find the source. The good thing about loneliness is that it holds more answers than the warmth and chatter and crowded places that offer kind distractions do. So I did what I knew best. I wrote poems, mantras, affirmations, reasons to live. I learned how to honor despair so I could make way for happiness. And I also realized that I was not alone in this deep chasm of sadness. So many people were there with me, perhaps even you. We may not know each other, we may never meet, but if you chance upon this book, I want you to know that no matter what you are going through, no matter how big and deep and painful those feelings are, you are not alone. You do not walk this earth, feet blistered with burdens and suffering, by yourself. There are so many of us who walk with you, yet each one of us believes we are abandoned in our pain. Perhaps this is because we are always looking ahead, the next hurdle, the next part of the journey, the future, or looking behind, unable to see any future because we are living in the past. It's strange how we never turn our heads to the side. If we did, we would realize that we are not alone, even in self-isolation, especially through a pandemic. The beauty of our species comes from our togetherness. We are campfire tales, parental wisdom, grandmother's accounts, fables of friendships, and conversations in the dark and in the pale light of morning. The truth of us is in the words, "I see you," when you see someone struggling. We are the sum total of our stories in the end, the ones we share by colliding with each other. Where love, sadness, anger, and truth all come alive because we met and imagined together a while. Stories are where hope comes from, too. We see it reflected in each other every day. When we go above and beyond for one another as volunteers during a pandemic, or when we simply check up on our neighbors and ensure the elderly have everything they need. This kindness, this compassion, this is where hope comes from. But it also comes from standing together against evil. It comes from chaos, rediscovery of truth, understanding loneliness, and self-compassion, too. Hope is an actionable thing, and just like recovery from grief, it is a journey to find hope, too. During my time alone, I turned to my oldest friend, the night sky, to do this. In exploring the life of stars, I found what I was looking for. Just as there are 5 stages of grief, there are also 5 stages of hope. We are going to explore these together through the rebirth of a star. So hold on tight. We are going to do the impossible together and bring a star back to life. And I had to read you the whole note because it's wonderful, and it does exactly what this entire collection of poetry does, which is leave you with this nice feeling of hope. And I think that Nikita Gill accomplishes what she set out for. And so, I have 2 quotes from the poems that I liked. I deeply enjoyed reading all of this, but you'll get my concrete thoughts at the end. And I will admit, I did not think ahead and mark them in the book, so you will have to listen to me flip through pages. Maybe. If this lets me go. Daily Mantra 1. When the universe could not find something to live for, it invented the galaxies and planets, and everything in between. If you cannot find something to believe in, perhaps it is because you haven't invented it yet. A letter to my younger self in times of turbulence. Love yourself dangerously, in all the places no one else dares to love you. Fulfill this yearning for yourself. The primal love you hold within your storm skin commands you. All the deep sadness made of words and wounds are no match for the pain of a broken heart. From within your own muscle and sinew, you can do this. You can do this. You hold the secret to surviving within your solitude. Fill journals, make art, make beautiful things just for yourself. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of them. All that matters is what you think of your own vulnerability. Smile at the skies. You are still here. You are still alive. And when the thoughts of mortality come to haunt you, think of how nothing is eternal. Everything else accepts it, the gentle robin at your window and even the fearsome tiger in the wild. And if they accept not being eternal, so should you. Your mortality, after all, is the beauty of you, to burn brighter than the sun, if only for a matter of seconds to the universe. You are the chrysalis and butterfly, the ember and the wildfire, the story and its ending. Embrace that. Embrace it, because this is all you have. This is all we have. A chance to make something beautiful. When you feel death has your name on it, tell it to wait another day. You still have so much more to do. Then live. Live the way you have never lived before, whether as a quiet celebration or a war song. Only live. That is all that was ever asked of you. It is all you have ever had to give. You are not immortal, and this, too, is a gift. So, those 2 poems are so good. I had to give you all of the letter to my younger self in times of turbulence because it is just absolutely stunning and just kind of, it just gives you the feeling of this entire collection. I can say it is absolutely stunning, and I think for a lot of us who were fortunate enough not to have to worry about, the things that struck a lot of people as worries, like running out of money and jobs and things like that, we kind of just got stuck. sitting either in a house or in a room with maybe 3 other people, if we were lucky, and then existing within ourselves for a year. And as easy as that seems, it is actually kind of hard. And I think the thought process throughout all of this was just really well captured for most people in this book. I mean, I know that it resonated pretty strongly with me. It was not especially hard, but just strikingly lonely getting through a lot of it. And I can say that I deeply appreciated how this was divided into 5 parts of finding hope and restructuring it. As she said in the note, that it is a 5-part process of grief, and so it is a 5-part process to gain or to discover your hope, which I also deeply enjoyed. Each of her parts is divided up and named after the process of, a star's birth. And I think that this does capture the feelings and emotions of people who ended up being pretty isolated through the pandemic, or even if you just feel isolated in general. I don't even know if it was during the pandemic, but I generally feel kind of isolated, I live by myself, I work from home. I mostly see other people on maybe one day of the weekend, so while I still have a pretty low social battery, I also feel pretty isolated, so this book still resonates with me even while we're still kind of trying to scooch back to normal. And honestly, I think these are a lot of things to hear either when the entire world is on fire, or when you feel like your world is on fire. It is a genuine piece to look at your family and your loved ones, and people you miss, and people you've just slipped away from, or perhaps are fighting with over something petty, and sit there and say, no, but I still love you, and I still want you in my life, and I don't want the last thing we part on to be sadness. And it's very nice to kind of reevaluate your relationships with people. And I will admit I have been doing this recently, not just through the pandemic, a little bit before that. But I did. I sometimes I just am in the car thinking, and I'm like, wow, I really wish that I had kept in contact with that person. I am notoriously bad amongst my friends for replying to texts and just messaging people in general. So if you don't message me first, there is a strong likelihood you are not hearing from me. And that's just kind of how my brain works. So sometimes just sit back and be like, wow, I really haven't heard from that person in like a year and a half. At time's wild, guys. So really what this helped me think about and realize is that I do need to keep better track of my friends and where they are and how they're doing. And I need to make doubly sure that I can kind of process my own internal dialogue. And I think some of this is internal stuff that I've been thinking, and you have to live and you have to make an effort to live, and you can't just sit and let everything pass you by. And I think that if nothing else comes out of the entire world being on fire for the last year or so, I think most of us have learned that. And last night I was like, I should probably try to find something more fitting for Thanksgiving. And well, yes, I don't like the origins of Thanksgiving, and Christopher Columbus sucks. I like to look at Thanksgiving as a time to just sit and be grateful for the people in my life and the things that I have. And there's no better book to talk about, honestly, than Where Hope Comes From, because that's all this book is about, is sitting and being grateful for yourself and the people around you, and learning that if you have things that you don't like about yourself, if you have aspects of yourself that you need to work on, that you're ashamed of, that you can work on them, and it's okay to sit and take some time and be with yourself and figure out how to be the best you and start to put those plans in motion. And I think it's hard sometimes that in a time where, like, everything's either toxic positivity or just abject nihilism, I can swing between both. It's hard to find a nice middle where you can say, yes, things suck, but they can be better. And I think this book really helps you kind of reach down and find that within you. Anyways, I definitely would recommend this poetry collection, even if you don't like poems. This doesn't have too much prose and, like, metaphors. This is really just kind of a hard look at yourself and how you might feel. And while it can be wrapped up in just poetic sentences, it is definitely not an inaccessible read. So, all in all, I deeply enjoyed Nikita Gill's Where Hope Comes From. I hope you will enjoy it too. If you've already read it, let me know how you felt, which one was your favorite poem. If not, if you don't like poetry, let me know why. And if you do like poetry, let me know what's your favorite, perhaps, collectioner, your favorite poet, or whatever you're feeling. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving, and then the day after that is, I don't want to get the title wrong, just bear with me for a complete second, because I meant to write it down, and then I didn't, because my brain's a sieve. And then the day after that is Native American Heritage Day. There we go. So, have a good Thanksgiving. Remember to, if not, I don't know if you can really celebrate, I don't know if you celebrate Native American Heritage Day, but at the very least, remember where this country came from. And I hope you have a very lovely holiday weekend. If you get both days off, if you only get one of the days off, if you get none of the days off, I hope you can at least be well rested and content.